the not knowing and the every single month, maybe this is the month. And then the letdown when it's not. That's been the hardest.
Hey friends!
Hello!
Hey, this is a follow-up video in regards to our fertility video that we had recently posted to kind of fill in the blanks of what transpired from that time to now.
I had the surgery to scrape off all the polyps. After about 6 months of waiting to see if that was all that needed to happen, we still were unable to get pregnant. And
no miscarriages, no nothing.
We were tracking and everything, and we were unable to get pregnant, so we started doing IUI. We did 3 rounds of IUI where I was taking Clomid to help get my eggs to mature and to ovulate. So I would take that, and then I'd have an ultrasound. They'd check to see if I had any mature eggs, and I usually had 1 or 2. I think twice I might have had two and once 1. And so then I took, I had to give myself a shot. It was called Ovidrel. And
how often were those again?
Once each time.
Just one per time? Okay.
Yeah, so you give yourself the shot, and then that triggers the dropping of the egg. It takes about 24 to 48 hours. So you release the egg, and you know that's your window where I would actually go in, and they inserted Jeremy's sperm into me, and so then we waited and to find out. And so the difference with, everybody always asks me the difference between IUI and IVF. So IUI is where the doctors insert the sperm directly into me. IVF, they take the male sperm and the female's eggs, and they put them together in a little petri dish, and then once eggs are fertilized, they put it inside the female. So usually they might do 2, but that's why it's more common for multiples to happen with IVF, which it actually can happen with IUI too, because taking the Clomid, a lot of times you may release more than 1 mature egg. Mm-hmm. So but with IVF it's a lot more common, because you know they're fertilized and then implanted into you. So yeah, so we did that 3 times and still no baby. So the doctor said that our next step would be IVF, and so we were looking into that when we got the opportunity to do foster to adopt. And this time, like we've said before, we felt very good about it, very strong, and it was the right time. And because of that, we were able to get our 2 babies that we have now. And the adoptions are final, and so now we have our 2 little babies. It has definitely been a roller coaster ride. And something that we've been talking about recently is we just feel so much better. Sometimes it still is hard when we hear, you know, a lot of friends, you know, are getting pregnant and having babies, but it's not painful like it was before.
Yeah, honestly, like there's not as much negative emotion about it. Like now that we're so blessed with these two little angels, like our friends can get pregnant all they want. I don't know. I feel less stressed when I hear it than when I used to, because we were trying for so many years and it was just really hard. Just really hard.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's so hard. You know, I'd like a little mini me and, you know, mini Jeremy. But we just feel so blessed to have our babies that, you know, I'm okay. I know that everything worked out, that everything needed to happen the way it did. If it didn't, we wouldn't have our little angels.
Everything had a time and a place. And we kind of we alluded to the fact that, you know, that this is very difficult, and trying to keep a straight face is very difficult. But at the end of the day, like, infertility is heart-wrenching, and then when we were invited back into fostering to do foster to adopt, like we had mentioned, we had two little kids that we kind of had our heart set on. Our minds were moving forward, and we felt confident that this was the direction we were going to go. And then the direction changed, and it's changed all of a sudden. And I'm trying to be vague and not get too emotional, but it's been a tough journey, and everybody has their own lot in life, and I feel that I just feel so blessed. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Is I just feel so blessed that the Lord has taken us on the journey that we've gone. We've been childless for so many years, other than being able to serve during fostering, and then going through the bumps and hills and infertility sucks. It just sucks. And then having our hearts ripped out of our chest with the two kiddos that we were anticipating on adopting, just to have the Lord say, okay, you've been through enough, here you go. It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Yeah. I had other things that I wanted to say. I know I'm like, turned off, but as you can see, there's still so much emotion, but we are in such a better place. Such a better place. I remember finding out, you know, my friend was pregnant and just being happy for her, but at the same time, going to my car and just crying and crying, just asking why not me. You know, I wasn't upset that she was pregnant, but just, you know, I was upset that I couldn't get pregnant. You know, why couldn't I? Why, you know, what? And I think that the not knowing why has been one of the hardest things, because no one has ever been able to give us an answer and say, this is why you can't get pregnant, this is what you need to do, or there's nothing you can do about it, and this is what it is. And if that were the case, then we could say, okay, well then, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go on this path. Or, all right, we are going to do IVF, because if we want our own baby from our bodies, that's the only way we're going to do it. Or private adoption. Or we're going to adopt overseas. Or we're, you know, foster to adopt. We would have been able to, you know, pick the path and everything and move on and know. But just the not knowing, and the every single month, maybe this is the month. And then the letdown when it's not. That's been the hardest. And I mean, even lately, I think this past month even, you know, I was feeling different and wanting to eat a whole bunch of junk food, which is not like me. And I was, you know, one of the thoughts that come to my head, oh, maybe I'm pregnant. You know, because everybody has been telling me, oh, now that you've adopted your babies, now you're going to get pregnant. And so actually, when we first got LV, so we already had LC, we got LV, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be the time I get pregnant, because this is the least inconvenient, or the most inconvenient, least convenient time for me to get pregnant. When I have 2 tiny infants, of course, that's when I'm going to get pregnant. But, you know, it still hasn't happened. So it's really hard, but at the same time, like we said, we're in a much better place. It's not as difficult. It's not as gut-wrenching. And, you know, the last time I had a friend tell me she was pregnant, I didn't even have any thoughts of, why can't I get pregnant? You know, which is huge for me. Yeah. I know there's so many people going through infertility, and we all have our different stories. Many people are going through multiple miscarriages, and I can't even imagine. And or losing a child, or, you know, stillbirths, or there's so many different challenges we all go through, and I think it's so important that we all help each other get through that and not judge one another, and just be supportive and be there, because it's hard for everyone. So didn't realize how heavy that was going to be. People keep asking me to, like, what we're going to do now. Like, are we still going to go through more fertility treatments? Or do we want to adopt again? And
we're still figuring that out.
Yeah,
so.
We're still figuring it out. There's times when I'm like, 2 is good. I'm okay. It's so much easier to travel, which is something we really want to do. There's times when I would maybe like to do IVF. I don't know. And sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. I can have one now. Let's get another one. And times I'm like, maybe when the girls are 4 or 5. So we don't know. We're gonna see how life goes, how we feel, what happens in life, where we are, when we feel like we want another one, when we know. We'll see. We'll see. That's our answer right now. We'll see.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Bye.